Okay, so if you're watching this, you're probably losing your hair, and if you're not, you're probably just trying to feel a little bit better about yourself. Either way, you're in the right place. Bald gang, baldness. I'm a certified bald guy, so I've got all the credentials needed to touch on the subject. So you're balding, what now? What happens now? I've been balding for I'm like 30 now. At the age of 20, I started seeing the signs coming. Anyone out there that's like getting your hairline cut, every time you're at the barber, it's going back a little further and you're thinking like, this is normal. It's bound to shift some level, right? You know what I mean? Like it doesn't mean I'm balding. It just means it's shifting. Hairline shift. Hairlines shift, right? And then over the years, I kind of just started really adopting the hats. See, I was never a hat guy back when I had hair. Now I've got like, look at this. Look at the hat situation here. Look at the hats. There's more, but still you get the gist of what I'm trying to tell you. A lot of hats. And that's one thing that I don't necessarily regret, but I'm like, I really went overboard on the hats just trying to kind of like cover it. But in the pandemic, I hit the level where it's like, okay, you're bald now, all right? Like you gotta trim it. And the best thing I did over the last couple of years was switch over to just cutting my own hair. Like anyone out there where it's like, you kind of want to just start buzzing your hair, get those 3-ball trimmer things or like the Manscaped, whatever, lawnmower, whatever they're called. A lot of them are waterproof. You can just use them in the shower and it just gives you a clean feel. Like being bald is mostly mentality. That's what I've come to learn. Like I used to always think like, oh, if I don't trim my hair within like a week, then it's like, it's clear that your hairline is receding. So keep your hat on, you know, and like I had all this mind space used up by like my over awareness of being bald when it's like, no one really is thinking that at all. It's just you know? It's a mental hurdle you have to get over because sooner or later you'll see like, hey, there's tons of successful people that have made it despite baldness. You know, baldness isn't a thing that's gonna hold you back. And if you're out there dating, just trying to be like, oh, no one wants it, you'll figure that shit out. It's literally the confidence, accepting it. And some guys, depending on, you know, like your head shape and what have you, how much facial hair, because let's be honest, there's like a hair equilibrium that happens, right? Where it's like it's super hot in here, the AC's not on, and the baldness shows, doesn't it? There's an equilibrium where it's like, as you lose the hair on top, you gotta grow the hair on the bottom. And thank God, not only am I darker skin, but I also have a decent beard, so I'm juggling it. I'm getting by. And you know, my heart out to the guys out there that have no facial hair and they're pasty white. You know what I mean? My heart out to you. You guys are the real heroes in all this. It's just a mental hurdle to get over. You know, baldness actually has a lot of benefits if you actually think about it. You know, in the winter, depending on where you're at, you could toss on hats and you don't have to think about messing up your hairdo. That's something I've always noticed my friends who like gel their hair like crazy. They're cold as shit. They don't want to put a hat on because they're afraid it'll fuck up the whole do. Not us. Yo, we're double, triple hatting. We don't care. In the summer, we've got the breeze, baby. We're killing it. But you got to protect the head from UV. So hats in the summer, there's no concern about that. You know what I mean? There's no shame in a hat in the summer. Really, there's no shame anytime. But if you feel like I can't take my hat off because people are gonna see or it's gonna expose that, you're just hindering yourself. It's like a blockade in front of your own life that you have the mental capacity to undo. But like, you know, baldness has a bad rep. You know, the media's made it look like anytime they want to show a creep, they're gonna show a guy who's got a fucked up hairline. Trimmed is like, oh, he's presentable, right? But like when it's all grown in and messed up, you look like, oh, my dog's going crazy. Hey, what are you doing?
A few moments later.
Anywho, sorry about that. Dogs, am I right? So anyways, baldness. But yeah, like if you feel like you can't take the hat off because then people are looking or whatever, that's the biggest thing that I had to overcome. And it just took like a while of being like, I'm not gonna shave my head today because you know, like when you let it grow out, you can really see that it's receding and the patches, you know, I call it the LeBron state, you know what I mean? I like to leave the house like that sometimes and just accept it and realize, and every time, the only time you ever realize is when you're looking, you catch yourself in the bathroom or the mirror or something like that, where you're like, oh shit, look at that. But you realize nothing is different. Yeah, if you want to look more presentable or whatever, trim it. Like I like shaving it just because it's a cleaner look. It makes me feel like, it still feels like a haircut at the end of the day, you know? Baldness is not that big of a deal. And once you get over that hump of just being able to be outside without a hat while it's grown in a little bit, like you've beat it. You can just get back to your life because like it's kind of a dark cloud over your life during that transition period from like hair to being like, oh, I gotta go bald. And some guys really, you know, hold off and they really fight the having to go bald, but I say just embrace it. You're gonna do it inevitably. More than, I think the percentage is like more than 50% of men, or around 50% of men are gonna go bald eventually. So get the jump on it. Why not? That's why I got the turtle hermit down there in my wallpaper, just to remind me that it's okay. You know what I mean? If you're ever really, really down in like just a dark place, remember, us baldies, we got The Rock. Possibly the biggest movie star in the world right now, and for the last decade, or I don't even know how long. Bald, you know what I mean? Yes, you gotta be 6'5" and 300 pounds jacked like a tank, but still, bald, he's with us. Jason Statham, you know what I mean? That's such a bald guy thing to just have a list of all the people who've succeeded despite baldness, you know what I mean? Jeff Bezos. Really, it's just the mentality you have to overcome, and once you do, you realize life's just back to normal. I lost like 6 years being hyper aware of receding hairlines and baldness and stuff. If you really don't want to accept it, you can always go to Turkey and get the hair transplant, which a friend of mine did and it works great. It really does work, you know what I mean? You gotta have like fair, straighter hair. I haven't really seen it work with curly hair, but still, it works. Your hairline looks a little artificial, but hey, it's way better than baldness for some people. Me personally, I'm fine like this. I think I make it work. But anyways, hey, that's that. I just wanted to touch on baldness, you know what I mean? Give you kind of the heart-to-heart, man-to-man conversation about how it's gonna go down. And you know, I'm on the other side saying it's pretty roomy over here. It's pretty chill. Come to the other side. If you enjoyed this, hit subscribe. Check out some of my other videos on this channel or my podcast called The Immigrant Section everywhere, or some stand-up. Either way, mingle in the channel. There's some stuff here. But until next time, it's your boy Abbas Wahab signing out. Peace.